team. And and we are live for another Biddle Saturday night.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
So there's like 8 people in the chat, 0 people watching. So something's going wrong.
That's kind of weird. You're absolutely on time, too.
When am I not on time?
No, sometimes it's a couple minutes late.
Okay, all right. You got me.
But I
thought you were accusing me of being Michael.
Oh, no.
Hey,
no.
chicken.
My mother was like that, and it's very frustrating.
How's it going?
Chicken in the house.
You guys hear me all right?
It's not showing this week's. Maybe that's why you don't have any chat.
Why
Or
isn't
should that
mine?
say Mac chicken?
Is my audio working for you guys?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Fine.
Awesome.
So why is it not showing live? Oh, here we
It's
go
not
with this
showing
again.
live because I just refreshed and it didn't show it.
Are you on Twitch as well, or just YouTube?
I'm just on YouTube.
No, I meant Rocco.
It's showing on Twitch.
He has a Twitch.
It's showing on Twitch, but it's not
yeah.
showing.
The Twitch.
It's not showing on YouTube.
No.
Oh, it is for me.
Oh, well,
I've
I'll
got
keep...
both up now, so
Okay. Well, it says the video output's very low, yet OBS shows it's green and
there it is.
running
It's
real
finally
fine.
showing.
So
YouTube's going off a bit every now and again, but Twitch seems rock solid.
There it goes. It's there.
So you're a bit green and you have a Twitch. So I'm not sure.
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, guys, I have 3 cats harassing me right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's all them,
around us
that's all
up.
them treats you keep giving them.
I don't give them anything when I'm doing this stuff. It's because I'm sitting in one spot. So they all decide, and the dog is on my meditation cushion.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I meditate.
Maybe I need one of those.
And then the cats help me with that.
So what's happening, guys? What's going on?
I'm doing bad things and it feels great.
What the-
Chicken.
Tell us, chicken. Tell us all about it.
It's got to be something to do with II.
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah, got to be something to do with chicken.
Chicken.
No, but I'll tell you what. Okay, and it's not even related to that in particular. These things here,
Oh,
these are
those
AirPods.
AirPods?
They're actually amazing. Like I was like, I wasn't gonna like them too much. I don't really like earbuds that much anyway. They're actually amazing. Like they automatically like play and pause like when you take them out of your ear and stuff. And, like you can just pass one
How
to a
does that
friend.
work?
I have no idea, but it detects when it's in your ear. When you take it out, it pauses.
And maybe there's a difference in maybe there's like a difference in air pressure, or it's the
Temperature, maybe.
temperature or light.
Oh yeah, it has capacitive touch as well, so it
Yeah.
might detect that it's in
Yeah,
contact
yeah.
with.
Mm.
It's interesting. So maybe a
Derek's got
combination.
them in too, only he's got wires on his.
I'm just
maybe-
using big old ugly headphones.
Something to do with.
Yeah, the only downside is like 'cause I could throw it in right now and do the show, but the audio quality wouldn't be as good. So
You're not sounding great as it is.
that's probably because there's a lot of background noise, or my microphone's being automatically adjusted by Zoom.
That could be.
That's likely.
Actually,
the
I was going
problem.
to check that actually because that's I'm going to check that.
How's that?
I think
Too
your
loud?
internet might be.
I think it's the internet connection actually.
Yeah,
You
that's
sound
what
like
I'm thinking.
Kind of
because
wonky
you're
a little
also
bit.
kind of like stuttering
Yeah.
every so often.
You're in Australia today, mate. You're in Australia today. That's your problem.
He's not wearing a beanie though, Colin.
He's not wearing a beanie.
I'm sure he can get one.
It's DST mucking you out.
Yes. Now, the other question is, are you using your new MacBook Pro, or are you using, what are you using?
I am, and it's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Really?
There's strength in numbers because I'm using mine also, but mine's not new.
We're
We're Big Daddy Linux live here. Did you
And-
hear the Linux word? And
And
we're
40%
using Macs.
of us are using Macs.
Oh
tonight.
my gosh.
I'm using GNOME. I'm using GNOME, and it's amazing. I'm telling you.
Me too, Colin. Me too.
And I'm using Kubuntu.
And I usually
Hey, Zeb.
use Ubuntu Mate, but I thought I would be a heretic today.
Love it. I love it.
Now,
The
actually,
peppermint
Seb,
made it on. Oh
actually,
yeah.
Seb, I was going through some disks today because I was trying to figure out when I first started using Linux, and I've got this Mandrake. Let me have a look.
Oh,
Knoppix 3.2, right, which is a 2003. Some guy sent me in the mail. So I reckon that's probably around about when I first started using Linux, because I have no idea. And then I've got a Red Hat 9, is it? Red Hat 9, but I've got this other one here, Zeb, which is, let me find it. I've got a Linux Lite 1.04. I've got a Peppermint 1.
Wow.
And I've got this one here that we were discussing the other week is a Peppermint Ice.
Yep.
Hey.
I remember.
Right, so there used to be a Peppermint and a Peppermint Ice. There used to be two of them, right?
And what was the difference, Zeb?
No idea. I wasn't around then.
The Peppermint Ice was, I think Peppermint Ice more focused on internet things, whereas the Peppermint, and then they made it all one or something.
Yeah.
I think it was more to do with the online applications, I believe. I think.
And we're still trying to shake that reputation of being a cloud-based.
Yeah.
Just because we've got the ICE application, it's beside the fact that it's lightweight and it runs every single thing in the Ubuntu repositories. People see that word ICE, they see the word cloud, and they think they're trying to compete with Google Chrome or something. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
But the ICE apps are awesome, regardless.
Oh, the ICE app is great. I love the ICE app. It should be more available. Actually, I think it's available again because I did download it a little while ago. I had a link for it somewhere.
If you know how to do it, you can put it in any in any distro you want.
Yeah, there's a .deb file hanging around. I know that much. Yeah.
Well, from what my experience with the deb file, at least the version that I had, the deb file, it would be good to install it, but then you had to copy over the newer version files into root. So I didn't have all of the files I needed, because if you just copied those files in, nothing would be in the system. But if you installed it with the deb file and then copied the newer files over, then it worked.
Yeah. It's not something they deliberately go out of their way of to make available on every single platform. It's just open source. There it is. If you know what to do with it, you're more than welcome to take it and do your own thing. But we don't provide .debs and Arch-based ones and RPMs and all that stuff. There's the source. Do what you want with it.
Yeah, okay. It's awesome, actually. I should probably use it a bit more often, but I don't. But it is quite handy, I must say, for your favourite websites that you visit on a regular basis. So, you know, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who's got me excited. Rob from Linux Quest has got me excited, I must say.
About what?
About Plasma. I'll tell you what, that thing's coming along really nicely. Plasma, I must say. And some of the new changes they've got that they're implementing looks good. But I don't know, does anyone know whether Plasma 5.13 is going to be in the Kubuntu .1 release?
I don't think so. It's not even in the backports yet.
Yeah.
No, I talked to Simon tonight about that, and he said it'll probably be another couple weeks.
Yeah,
before it's in
they
the
won't
backwards.
land that into like the 0.1 release. Like I think what they typically tend to do is stick with like the current stable release, and then just back anything that isn't.
Yeah, because I understood that once like the LTS was out, all the major components don't change. You have to make a physical choice.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true, because it's stability, isn't it? It's
the LTS. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, true. Okay.
And what was interesting though is I enabled the backports on Kubuntu, and there was like 195 updates, and I was thinking, oh, am I going to hose my system? But no, it all worked well. It was fine.
So So you haven't got the Plasma 5.13 yet? That's not in backports yet. No,
it's not in backports. We're still on 12.5.
But that'll come up automatically now that you've enabled backports. It'll let you know when it's available.
Yes, it will do. Yeah, it'll just come down as an update. And it is 5.13, not 15.3, as Rob said on his video. Bless him.
Oh, did he? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he might have
well, the
changed it
title
already.
of the video is, the title of the video is 15. But did he make a mistake in that or what?
Yeah, it should be 5.13. And he labelled it 15.3. So,
Yeah,
hey.
that happens.
Of course it does, yeah. But I don't know. Surely you can change that simple enough because it's only the YouTube title.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
you
can.
can definitely change the title. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've changed the title.
Absolutely.
I think Sergey mentioned to me I had something wrong in the title, and I just said thank you very much and went back and edited the title. Yeah.
Switched it right out.
Well, I want to say that. Okay, so I'm definitely going to try out Kubuntu, and I want to say that I'm going to be like everybody else, and I'm not going to have any issues with it. But
That's funny, Rocco.
that's not going to happen, I don't
Never
think.
happened
So
to you, has
I'll
it?
let you know.
That's called Mac OS, Rocco. I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
But he might have had-
Did you say? Wait, did you put Mac
That's really
OS
hard.
and no issues in the same sentence? Are you kidding me?
Well, Rocco, I think
Derek,
we
help
need
me
to
out
know-
here.
Man, it took me a few minutes to get Zoom up and running today. That was strange. Did you
Are
see?
you on a Mac?
No, I'm still on Mint, and I didn't hop. So
Whoa!
Yeah, that'll
That was
teach
your
you to mess
problem.
around with it earlier today. It's probably not forgiving you for bringing on 15 people.
it was weird because none of the windows wouldn't open, and like I could hear you guys, but the audio was kind of jumbled. It was strange. Yeah.
Well, the last one, see, there's definitely something going on with the internet. I'm not exactly sure, but the stream output goes up and down. It just keeps jumping.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's Zoom or if it's, I don't know what it is, but we've had the issue before. It just seems like every Saturday night we have the same issue. Hey, look at that. Guess who's here?
Oh, hey there.
Ryan.
It's my fellow Mac
Going,
user.
mate.
What's happening? Man, has this turned into Destination Mac or
I'm
what?
telling you, dude. Sheesh.
Holy moly.
It's ridiculous.
So what are you using?
What am I using?
Yes.
As far as like the computer I'm on right now?
It wants to know which version of Mac OS you're running.
Oh, Sierra, of course.
He'd be running Hackintosh, is it?
Yeah. I'm gonna do full. Hey, have you thought about that chicken going full Hackintosh?
I have actually. I've got
Yeah?
it running on a
Oh,
Ryzen
wow.
laptop.
It's got you bad, doesn't it? That Starbucks, man. That being able to sit there in the Starbucks and sit in.
That was actually
There's
the
nothing like
I
it.
did.
But why would you fool with a Hackintosh when we've got these fantastic Linux desktop environments like GNOME and KDE? I mean,
There you go. There
See?
you go.
I wish I could agree.
Well, I'm on Fedora right now as far as
Pantheon.
I'm waiting to see how long it takes him to find out that there are things about Mac OS that drive him crazy.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's absolutely things about it that drive me crazy, but I've used it in
there's
the
some
past
things
as
that
well.
drives me crazy about, but I can live with it. It's not stuff.
Mac OS is amazing once you install Linux on it. I think.
Well,
I mean, I have a
considered-
MacBook, and it's fun to have the integration, and then you switch over to Linux, and you can get work done. Like the integration is cool, and that's about where, to me, it leaves. But
I have considered taking advantage of their 14-day return policy and getting like an XPS, and but I don't have any solid phone choices on the Android side, so
no,
Yeah.
there's no such thing really.
yeah, there's no such thing as a good Android phone.
So how do you work that, Ryan, when you have an iPhone and you want to integrate like your contacts and all that stuff with your
He doesn't. He remembers all the numbers. He has like a little notepad. and-
Yeah, I'm old
Or
school,
he
man. I
goes
get
to
out the
iCloud
flipbook
and
start
looks them up.
No, I use
Because-
Parallels on my MacBook. So what it allows you to do is you just Alt Tab and you're in Linux, and
Yeah.
then if you get a notification or whatever, it still shows through.
Oh, okay.
So you've got your integration kind of built in, and so if you're on the road and you want to get your text message or text people while you're on the road, you could just Alt Tab back into Mac OS and respond, and then Alt Tab back to Linux to do something productive.
and they're both running at the same time?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
On what device is this?
This is a MacBook Pro.
MacBook Pro. Oh.
By the way, can you hear me, or am I crackling like a lot?
No, you're
We
fine.
No, we can hear
You're
you.
fine.
There's a little bit of crackling like you're in front of a campfire, but it's very, very
Yeah.
little.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Are you
I
in
like
front of a
s'mores
campfire,
anyway.
Hoomer?
Yeah, that's all right because I'm.
Are you in front of a campfire?
No, I wish I was.
Okay.
I hope not. He's inside.
That's why it's all red behind him.
Well, you just never know, Zeb.
Yeah, could be his
And
MacBook
he's
Pro
getting a reflection
exploding in
off his-
flames.
Yeah, it's this metallic things.
Yeah, I know. It just looks kind of weird, but that's okay.
Like a couple of
What's,
horns.
I just wanted to know, Ryan, what's Parallels? Is that some kind of application?
It's just a virtual box variation. It's a proprietary version of virtual box, basically. But from a Mac OS standpoint alone, it just seems to be able to run, Linux without, like, I have OpenSUSE on my MacBook, and it seems to run it without killing resources when you're switching between one or the other. Whereas VirtualBox is a little less, resource. At least my ability to do the settings with it, the resources seem to be heavier on the VirtualBox.
It consumes.
Yeah, exactly. It consumes it. So Parallels is a better option for that if you have a Mac and want to check out Linux, because you kind of get the full run. And I think it has integration where it actually gives you, I don't remember if that's Parallels or the other one, where it actually has the Linux distributions. You just click, I want Ubuntu or Fedora or whatever, and it downloads it, installs it, sets it up for you.
Oh,
it does the
really?
whole thing.
That's a Mac app, is it? It's a Mac app.
Yes.
Parallels.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I've never heard of that one before.
because it's a Mac only. I don't think there's a. I don't think
We're
they have a
just
version.
that good.
Look at him. He said weird. What the heck? Oh my
I am
God.
one with the Apple. Apple is
Come
one.
on. Let me see your Frappuccino, dude. Hold it up.
He has,
Hold it
he
up.
has crossed the line.
Caramel lattes.
I went into like a Barnes and Noble with the Starbucks today, and I just sat down.
And everyone was like, hey, man. Hey,
Get
yeah.
along.
You writing a book too? What's your book about? You're going to be a famous writer?
Uh-huh.
Is
The Great
Michael in
American
chat? He's
Novel.
not joining us today.
Who's not joining us?
Michael is in chat.
I don't know.
I think he tore his computer apart. Remember? Like,
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did.
The review of the show, his computer was in pieces. So, yeah.
Oh,
He may be still trying to put it together. He's more of a software guy.
Yeah.
So tell me, what do you do with your old MacBooks when Mac refuses to update them anymore, or when they sort of like make it obsolete? Do they just
Turn it into a
continue to
Linux
run?
box.
yeah, Linux. Yeah.
That's what I did with my 2010 MacBook Pro. It runs Ubuntu Mate.
You
Beautiful.
pickle them for
okay.
in-store credit.
So is it because it's too insecure to keep running the old version of Mac, or what?
This is
No,
not
there's
powerful.
different reasons. Hardware limitations, just things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about a MacBook, and wasn't there a story? I can't. Someone will correct me here, but I thought Linus runs a MacBook himself. He runs Linux on a MacBook.
Yeah, I think he was doing. Didn't he have a MacBook Air or something at one point that he was doing something on?
Something like that. But what I like about
I think he runs Fedora though.
hardware, although I think that it's far better with Linux on it. And not just saying that, like Mac OS is awesome, it's stable, it's all that, but until you get Linux on it, non-jokingly, I think it's really kind of limited. Not that you can't do fun things with it, but it's just limited. Once you get Linux on it, it opens up a whole new world. But the hardware itself on a MacBook is amazing because you've got the backlit keyboard standard, you've got the really good chiclet keyboard, you've got the aluminum frame. Now, I will say that the new computers coming out by Dell and everybody are rivaling, if not as good as the MacBook. So this was a thing in the past where it really was a differentiator. Now today, there were some Dells I was looking at itself. I was like drooling over, like, wow. I mean, they are super thin and
they have more ports.
Yeah, they have ports, right?
They have ports.
But
They have
MacBooks do
an SD
hold their
card
value,
reader
which
slot.
is a unique thing about MacBooks as well. If you go and sell your 2011, 2012 MacBook, you're going to get $400 or $500 for it.
Yeah,
You
it's
get a
still
Dell and 6 months later try to sell it, you're losing 50-60% of its value immediately. Of course, I've never bought a MacBook brand new, so I guess even though I think their high resale value is high, I've always bought them used and then sold them used, and the money's pretty much the thing.
Yeah.
But if you're paying like chicken $2,600 for a laptop, I don't know.
Do you think
it's
that
not
resale
bad.
value is that resale value all about the logo? Is there some other reason?
I really think
it's
it's
the
a
brand.
logo thing.
Yeah.
It's
the
not
brand.
just the brand. Well, that's a big part of it, but I think the other reason is just because they're consistent. So even though it's like a newer or an older machine, I mean they're fairly consistent. regardless of it being a few years back.
Because they don't change their hardware enough, so who cares, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because really,
it's just a newer CPU most of the time.
It's not that much. You just have some processor bumps, basically.
Yeah.
That's it. And
processor bumps, weird touch bar thingy.
Yeah, the touch bar thingy.
Upgraded display every now and then.
Well,
it's so good. I want to have the
Apple.
weird.
I don't like the touch bar.
Michael, is your computer still in parts, or do you have a camera? Oh, look, he's there.
Hey.
Oh my God!
He just popped it back in.
See that timing? It's crazy.
It's
If you
crazy.
say Apple 3 times and rotate in a mirror, Michael appears.
No,
Beetlejuice.
then a part of my soul dies from that.
Candyman.
Right?
So we all know that Apple has very good displays and all that. So does just a question on Linux running on Apple? Does it take advantage of all the nice displays?
It didn't used to, but the
It works
high
fine
DPI
now.
stuff has made it beautiful.
It also depends on what which version of MacBook you have too. So the older MacBooks are more likely to have better support. I mean, the Mac is designed specifically to look for Mac OS. So when you change the OS, they purposefully make Mac OS only look for their hardware, and their hardware only look for Mac OS.
Right. Okay.
So it's not really worth doing because they purposely make it difficult. But there has been a lot better support over the past couple of years. But it's like, unless you want a touch bar, then.
So how do you like the touch bar, Chicken?
Well, I thought I was going to hate it. And I'll be honest, I don't use it all the time, but it's actually pretty useful for doing things that aren't really assignable to a keyboard shortcut. It's also, it's good for like scrubbing through media controls, even when it's in another window on another desktop. It does all kinds of things. You can do like color selection from there while you're still doing stuff on the keyboard. It's definitely really flexible, and you can choose whether it just shows the function keys or whether it dynamically changes with whatever application or window that you're using.
Does it work within Linux?
I haven't tried. I haven't tried.
Oh, really?
I know.
Hey, Rocco, can you just go ahead and kick him off the show?
Yeah, probably.
The real question is Chicken, are you going to still run Linux on something?
Yeah, actually, I've got Linux running still all over the place.
Okay.
I sat in front of the computer last night on the Dell website, just ready to pull the trigger and just be like, nah. But I'm still looking for a good Android phone before I do that.
I knew it. Chicken abandoned Linux because Elementary pushed him to Mac.
Yeah. That's a gateway.
It is.
That's the only explanation.
So
Next Rocco will be like, hey, I moved to Elementary and I got this awesome iPhone, man. It's
and that'll be the sign that everything is going doom.
Yeah. He's going to be buying all these iHome products.
So Chicken, what's wrong with
iDestination, huh?
What's wrong with what?
Android phones?
So
insecure.
here's the thing, buddy. Buddy, pal.
Here's the thing, buddy.
No,
they're garbage is what I'm trying to say.
I think one of the big things with Android is that it's so inconsistent that it makes it a bit it just makes it uncomfortable.
It's super consistent. You just replace everything that comes by default with something.
This reminds me of a conversation I was having. So I got into this discussion with like 12 people itself. We had a big battle about iPhone versus Apple. By the end of it, they were all looking at their Android like, damn. Darn, sorry, Rocco. But then Michael was talking to me in the car, and he was like, well, all you do is you load, what was it called? Librem on it. And I was, Lineage, yeah. And I was like, awesome, let me see it. He goes, oh, I don't have it.
So to be fair, I didn't claim to have it at any point. So it's like, I'm just saying you could do it. I'm also really lazy and I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Well,
Lineage runs well. It runs well. I've got it on mine.
So as just a basic Android user, what's so insecure about it?
All of it. I mean, basically, privacy-wise, it's Google, so it's tracking everything you do.
The problem
is a disaster. I mean,
and so is iPhones tracking everything you do.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the difference is that.
But regardless, it's still tracking you. I mean, like.
No, but iPhone has better security because they control everything that goes into the App Store, so they have complete control over that. Android does not have control over everything.
They control the store too.
Android is so secure as far as the App Store. There are no. Yeah, no.
They have control, and Google does have control of the Android store. They just don't care and whatever.
Personally, I think the only Android device worth getting is probably the Pixel. The Pixel 2 more specifically. I'd love a Pixel reboot. Like the Pixel 3 leaks are looking really good.
Is that one that's worth $1 gazillion?
Well, I have to say the S8 and the S9, the Galaxies are really nice.
You know what? I'm so happy that there's this new notch fad on phones. It's so great. Gosh. Doesn't everybody just love that?
Oh, I hate it so much.
What is it?
To be honest with you, I don't understand.
They're trying to make the screen so big in the hardware that it holds that, at the top you've normally got a little microphone speaker. Or the screen now goes and drops down below that and then goes back above it. So it's not straight across the top of the phone.
So stupid on so many levels.
They make it makes it more complicated to manufacture and more expensive to buy solely so you can have a couple extra pixels at the top corners.
And you know what's great about that?
You have a screen like that.
You know what's absolutely great about it is now Android has support for it too, and it's coming in the next Pixel.
Yeah, the S9 Plus doesn't have it, thankfully. It just goes straight across the top. Doesn't care about the real estate.
How is the S9, by the way?
It's superb.
Yeah.
It's there's so many features on it. I'm still discovering stuff every day. But if you just want a quality premium phone, buy the OnePlus 6. You save yourself $400.
That's what Simon told me. He recommended the OnePlus 6.
Yeah, I had a OnePlus 5.
Replace OnePlus software with Lineage, though.
What, you can't run Lineage?
No. It's worse than Android.
What, OnePlus?
Yeah, they were caught tracking everyone doing whatever you were doing, including your IP address and your GPS.
Oh well, I'm not too bothered about that. I mean, look at me.
Yeah,
he's a Mac user, so
Mac users probably.
Chicken should just get everything and just walk up to their front door and say, "I'm here. Where is my RFID that you put under my skin?"
But honestly, my biggest concern would just be that they absolutely don't need any of that stuff. So there's.
Well, they also and OnePlus pretended they didn't have it.
Oh, great!
People found it, and it was like,
idiots.
Why do they need to know I've gone to a public toilet in the centre of London? What difference does it make to them?
So they know when to call the janitors.
So they can sell you a toilet paper ad.
That's right. See, the thing is also with Android, I was reading that there's a lot of apps in the Play Store that actually access stuff on your phone that really doesn't need to be accessing that stuff.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous. Right? The Android store is a disaster. When you go and you're downloading a photo app and it's like, I want all your contacts access, I want full photo access, I want your history, I want your GPS, and everyone's like, I Android and I use Linux. I'm such a privacy fan. I like Android. What is that? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So you don't download that app. You go and find one that doesn't. For every
there are none.
Of course there are.
No.
Isn't it the same on the Mac, though? I mean,
that's the single.
iTunes is completely different. I can go on iOS, and if I download an app and it wants permissions to that, I can tell it no, and by the store's requirements, it still has to run. They cannot, whereas Android, if you try to run that app and you don't give it the privacy settings, it shuts down. On iOS, if I tell it it wants access to my photos and I say no, it still runs the app.
And you know what? As a result, even not as in a privacy sense, one of the benefits is actually performance, because it's not doing all of this other crap it shouldn't be doing.
It's because it's performance until a year later when they purposefully slow your
shut it.
phone
Yeah,
down.
we're not talking about that.
Fun story about that. That argument's so irrelevant because we're talking about devices whose batteries just aren't capable.
No. Literally 1-year-old phones were being slowed down on purpose, and Apple admitted it.
But they fixed that.
But they fixed it because they were forced to admit it in court. That's why they fixed it.
They fixed it.
They
We
didn't
stopped doing that crazy
besides,
stuff.
it's not a broken thing when you purposefully do it.
No. Yeah.
That is true. That is
You know
true.
what you guys should use is Librem 5, like Michael.
I will as soon as it comes out.
The
I will.
Librem 5 is pissing me. Oh no, I'm sorry. No. It's tinkling me off.
Euphemisms. Gotta love it.
Why are we arguing about which company is more evil, Apple or Google? That's kind of a strange discussion.
No, the thing is, what's going to happen
It
is
is.
that Chicken is going to actually use Google Chrome and Google Docs and all that stuff on his Mac.
Actually, no. I'm using Pages and Keynote and everything.
Yep. Okay.
So all
That's
the Apple
weird.
Mac stuff. So you have drank the Kool-Aid.
All right, but I think this is an interesting question. You keep saying you were about to pull the trigger on a new Dell.
Yes.
So what aren't you liking about the MacBook?
The
$2,700 buyer's remorse.
It's a little bit of that, but it's also just like it does everything I wanted it to do, so it's become boring.
Wow, dude,
That's
you
what I
just
like
got
about
it.
It does what it's supposed
That
to
is so
do.
funny.
And I don't have to worry about all the.
That's the problem. That was
That's why you don't like
entertaining.
Ubuntu either.
But I can understand. I mean, it's almost like a distro. You get it set up just the way you want, and
And then it becomes tedious.
you
so
just
have
feel
to-
like hopping.
Yeah.
Not really. I leave mine.
No, but I mean, there's a few other
Wait,
things, and honestly, it's a lot of it comes down to Google services. And the thing is, as much as I'm really irked by a lot of the things that I've found on Android, like Google services, like the way they sync things and the way they kind of keep everything kind of.
You mean they
matched
do
like
it
that.
better, is what you're saying?
Yeah, and it's super great. Now, it's not great like for a desktop experience, but it's great on Android.
Definitely not
Mhm.
good on a desktop Linux
Like,
experience.
If Linux had like some super solid like accounts profile syncing support for like your messages and your password, like I would have no doubt in my mind. But like,
You don't need to sync, just SSH into some machine.
yeah, absolutely.
You can SSH
Well, you know
into
what?
Love that.
Chicken, you were saying that you're using Pages and Keynote and all that.
Yeah.
And I actually use them on through iCloud. So I use on Linux.
Yeah.
In Ubuntu with no problem. And that's what's real. That is one of the nice things, so that I can, if I need to have something that I did and I stuck it up in iCloud, or I want to create a document, whatever, I can do that even with Linux.
It's still super accessible.
So what
Yes.
are
And-
the
but they
comparable
don't,
things?
They don't allow Android to access it.
Isn't that
What
nice?
are the comparable services that Linux offers to sync things?
That's funny.
Caden Live. I mean,
Well, that-
KDE Connect. Caden
But
Live.
there are
Oh,
just
Yeah,
like
make a video about it and watch it later.
just like KDE
KDE
Connect,
Connect.
those type
No,
of
but he
things.
said
Like
comparable things. KDE Connect is not comparable.
No.
And
To
can
what?
KDE
Connect is
Connect-
more of like a
Nothing
wireless
that either. I mean, really, Apple's the only one who has that converged operating system and mobile OS integration. But Windows, I mean, KDE Connect compared to what Windows has is a huge step ahead. So Linux
but-
is the furthest ahead besides Mac. Let's put it that way.
So
we're
apart
Linux
from-
though, so we're
apart
used
from
to doing the second rate stuff.
so
Rocco.
on
Yeah, if you
KDE
just want to do
Fine,
sync, if you want to do file sync, we have that too.
Can I ask a question on KDE Connect? Why does it not work with private internet access on the phone?
Yeah, Michael.
What do you
I
mean?
have to turn off private internet access before my phone will connect to the computer.
Because you took it off the LAN.
No.
Because it only works Wi-Fi to Wi-Fi, or like
It only
you're on the
works-
same LAN.
right.
But if you change to different IP, you're on a different LAN now, and it can't connect. It can't see it.
So the security of PIA goes out the window if you want KDE Connect with the computer at home.
No, because
Yes.
why are you worried about your
No, because
at
yes.
home?
Yes.
You can also like put your like the home box to PI. So
You can put it on the
go-
same server. You can choose which
Yeah.
server to put it on, and they'll be.
Yeah, but they use shared IP addresses, so you might not get the same server.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The main thing is, one, if you're at home, do you have PIA on your desktop too?
Yep.
Okay, he defeated 1 point. Two, they are working on a Bluetooth solution that will remove the LAN requirement.
That would be so nice. I've been waiting for that.
That would be excellent.
They being KDE Connect, yeah?
KDE Connect, yes.
Michael, when can we expect that feature?
Right
Well,
now.
let me check my calendar. I have no idea.
When have you written it? Yeah.
You can expect that feature
Soon.
when the next video of Tux Digital comes
giving you a
out.
date, that's good because if I give it to you, it's wrong anyway.
That's true.
But like KDE Connect is going to be so much easier with the Bluetooth thing. Is they've been working on it for a while because it basically has to be a whole rewrite.
Well,
So
I tried to get.
Chat,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say in the chat, Carl was talking about put VPN on the router.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you can do that. Sure,
Yeah,
you can do that.
Does PIA work on the router?
I have not tried that. I don't know. In theory, it should be able to.
Whoa.
Carl,
First-
you need to jump on the stream, mate, and tell us all how to do that.
First, we'd
VPN
have
on
to
the
know
router.
what a router is. Is that
Router. Funny.
Ryan, it's the one with the roto first.
Roto-Rooter.
They speak funny. Remember that.
It's technically possible because you can change because essentially a VPN is setting up a proxy. So you can do a proxy through the router, and then that would be you would be connecting the router will be doing all the PIA stuff, and then you would just be connecting to that same router. That way, it would be the same LAN regardless of what it connects to. Although if you ever want to turn it off for like gaming and such, or streaming and like for limits, that would be kind of difficult. You have to go into the router admin every time to do that.
I tried to get KDE Connect to connect to GNOME here through that GS Connect, and I can't get it. No, it won't see it.
It's because you're using GNOME, Rocco.
Probably, but it is supposed to work, you know.
Are you still on vanilla Ubuntu?
No, I'm on Pop OS.
Oh, nice.
When did you switch to that?
A couple weeks ago.
He's one step closer to that elementary dream.
Yes, he is.
I'm
That
waiting.
means,
He's two steps
Patiently waiting.
He's two steps closer to the Mac.
Except
So I've got a
it's funny,
question
when I
for
tried
you all.
Elementary, I did not like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
If you expect it to be like close to Mac, you're going to be let
It's
down
not,
super
yeah.
hard. Yeah.
I
So
mean,
I've got
the
a
way
question
I
for
have
all of you.
Latte setup is closer to the way my Mac works than.
Oh yeah, because you got fine control over the top
Yes.
panel. You've got
Mhm.
control over whatever dock you want to use. You can even use different docks. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
So I
Colin,
put
so what's your
between
question,
the two
Chicken?
without any problem.
All right, so you've got a brand new XPS 13 Touch.
Mhm.
What do you put on it?
Peppermint.
This is completely hypothetical. Okay, peppermint,
Mac OS.
Fedora.
Mac OS,
Ubuntu Mate.
Ubuntu Mate. Okay.
Manjaro.
I use the
XFCE
Mac.
would probably be a good desktop environment for it. Just saying.
I use the Mac until Juno comes out. Then I put Juno on the Dell.
Oh yeah. I like that thought.
See, I don't know anymore. I'm like in this lost world now that I have this AMD build and I can go to any distro I want without problems.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can do any
And so, like, I've been playing with OpenSUSE and Fedora, and everything works. And I really like OpenSUSE a lot. Like,
You know what I really,
I've
really
kinda-
You
love
know what I like?
Huh?
I like FPS in video games. How's that working out for
Well,
you?
Fedora has way better FPS than Ubuntu in 2 of the games I've tested so far. I don't know why, because I'm using the X session, and I think they both have the same Mesa drivers. I'm not sure why, but it's 30, 40 frame per second difference between
It's
the
really?
later
18
kernel in
Fedora
Fedora, I
28.
think.
What was that?
What'd you say, Homer?
I was trying to say it's maybe because Fedora has the later kernel.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
one version, was it 4.16?
415 or 416. I think Ubuntu was still on 414 when they released.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting to me because I didn't expect that in Fedora.
What games are we talking about? That you're-
Minecraft.
Tomb Raider and Ballistic Overkill. Minecraft.
okay.
Super Tux.
I was gonna say if this is like
Tux Kart.
like a,
Probably
yeah,
Test
Tux Kart.
Manifesto. So tell me then, Ryan, all those years you were on NVIDIA, does that just mean you couldn't configure it properly?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're trying to
Wow.
insult me, right? Because of the router comment. Did that upset you? Why don't you get a jar of Marmite and take a bite of it?
He's just trying to have a chin wag, Ryan.
No, I think you're right, though. I think when I was first starting out with Linux a couple years ago, that's when I started playing with more of the variations of distros, and Fedora and OpenSUSE for whatever reasons at those times. I know Fedora because of Wayland, but I couldn't get them to run. Now, of course, I would know to switch from Xorg to Wayland, but back then I would have had no idea.
Ubuntu 18.04 has the 4.15.0-23 kernel.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Back in the day, that was the stuff.
Back in like 6 months ago.
Yeah,
We're already 2 kernels ahead.
so that's what it's got.
One thing I really love about OpenSUSE is like the way it handles like UEFI. Like it does that super well.
It does. It really does.
I'm surprised nobody mentioned that they were going to switch to Mint 19 in Chicken's hypothetical question. I mean, it's right around the corner.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, that was a discussion that went on this afternoon.
Oh, that was fun.
This evening. Yeah, wasn't that fun?
I don't have a. Actually, I don't know what I would put on it because I would want to play with the high DPI stuff.
Me too. But like at the same time, I'm like, I wonder how each one of these distros. See, this is another distro hopping cycle.
I would actually probably distro hop just to test what the high DPI.
Yeah.
Because
Distro hopping got boring. You decided to jump entire operating system infrastructures.
Well, the best time to hop is on a new machine because you haven't put anything. You're wiping it out. You're not out anything. So
that is true.
So when you say about the FPS on the card, what card are you talking about, Ryan?
The Vega 56.
Ooh, nice.
And how does that compare to like a 1080?
Well, finally, depending on the distro you run, you get a very comparable experience to the 1080.
What about price?
Interesting about that? Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, the price is.
Let's not talk about price. They're bad.
I thought AMDs were always cheaper.
Yeah, but none of them. The 1080 isn't cheap either.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
The 1080 was great. I had it, since it launched, but I had the Founders Edition. So, but it was a great card. But obviously, there's a lot of work that you have to do depending on the distro for the driver installation and stuff. With AMD, it's amazing because you go and install a new distro and then you start gaming right away without anything. You don't install a driver. You don't do nothing. Now, you can go up and update Mesa to the latest version if you want to or anything like that. But otherwise, it's just out of the box. Everything works, and that's quite incredible. But frame rate per second between the 1080 and the Vega 56 is the NVIDIA wins probably by, I think it was 20 to 30 frames per second on the highest end settings. But we're still dealing in 140, 160 frames per second. So,
which you are not going to notice anyway.
And if you only have a 140 hertz monitor, which most people don't even have a 140 hertz monitor, you're not going to get. It doesn't matter.
Now the difference is
I can prove this wrong.
If you do Vulkan, it's a completely different game changer. If you run Ballistic Overkill with Vulkan, it stomps the NVIDIA card.
Vulkan is amazing.
But not every game has the Vulkan capabilities, but it does show the capabilities the Vulkan will have. If you go into Ballistic Overkill, for instance, in the experimental mode, which I think enables Vulkan, I'm not sure what they're doing in there, but we're talking 190, 220 frames per second on average.
But the problem with Ballistic Overkill, no, it might not be that one. No, forget it. I'm thinking of PUBG. Because whether you've got 200 frames a second or 20 frames a second, when you land, run to the first building and get shot, does it matter whether you get shot in 200 frames a second or 20 frames a second?
Well, the hope is you don't get shot because you can actually see the person and react quick enough. That's the whole idea.
More frames allows you to react more. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're hoping the other guy has the low frame rate.
Which is why I had to redo my whole build so that I can take out Wimpy, because he's not even going to see me coming. The frames are going to
be well, actually, Ryan, we need to scrimmage, and I'll give you some pointers and stuff. Let's do some practice.
Well, there are diminishing returns on these frame rates. I mean,
that game, by the way.
If you've got 80 or 100 frames per second, you're all right. The difference between 100 frames a second and 200 frames a second is not that big. The difference between 20 frames a second now, you're talking.
That's a big.
It also matters what monitor.
Yeah. No, I have a 144 hertz monitor, so
pinpoint accuracy, everything.
I don't know what the exact. It's not an exact correlation to if you have 60 hertz monitor, you can only do 60 frames per second. It's not a correlation like that, but I think it's something close to
It's like your
20-30% over.
the human eye can only detect so much, kind of thing.
Right.
Well, according
Right.
to console people, the human eye can only detect 60 frames per second.
Well, they're wrong, but it's okay.
So you're talking about, Ryan, you're talking about the AMD Ryzen, is it? Is it the one you've got?
I've got
Is that
the
Threadripper one?
Ryzen 2700X and the AMD Vega GPU 56.
So it's an all AMD build. I
All
like
AMD. Yeah, it's pretty
So-
slick.
Earlier,
How
when
would
before I-
that run?
Go ahead.
How would that run without the Vega?
It ran fine without the Vega. In fact, for a while, I wasn't sure I was going to keep the Vega because of the performance issues that I was experiencing in certain distros. Where, I was just like, man, this card's newer, 2 years newer, and I'm not really getting more frames. And then I realized I kind of had false expectations for it. Number one, I'm not comparing against the Vega 64, which was more so of the 1080s competitor. And number two, I wasn't using a distro at the time that had the latest Mesa drivers and all of that to take advantage of it. So once those things changed, I decided to stick with the AMD card. But in the ability to just distro hop so much more easily.
So you're done with NVIDIA forever?
I wouldn't say forever, but right now I really enjoy having Vega with Linux. It's just, or AMD with Linux, because it's just so much more easier to get going.
Well, you know what Linus said about NVIDIA?
Yeah.
He's a big fan.
Well,
He's a big fan, yeah.
He's a big fan.
I'm a bit ignorant here because I don't really know too much about AMD, I must say. But the Vega is what, a graphics card?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me explain hardware. Like Ryan so rudely said before I joined that I'm just a software guy and I don't understand hardware.
Oh, you heard that?
You heard that.
Yeah, I did happen to hear that. But so to explain, go ahead, Ryan. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, one is an external GPU, obviously, so you can, and these are gaming graphics cards. Although a lot of people will tell you straight out that the Vega 56 and 64 architecture that AMD is using will stomp an NVIDIA all day long when it comes to video encoding and those type of things.
Yeah.
When it comes to gaming specifically, a lot of people will also tell you NVIDIA has done a lot of things, even recently, to kind of cheat in this market where they have game developers they're working directly with. And that's why you see the big logo when you open up a game, it says NVIDIA. So they basically tweak the game out so that it works better on their hardware. So with all of those things stacked against AMD, I think they did a pretty good job with the Vega lineup. But it's basically their direct competition. That's their flagship cards versus the NVIDIA 1070 and 1080 is the Vega 56 and the 64.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Which is better at Bitcoin mining, AMD?
AMD all day long.
If you can get one.
That's what the hardest problem is. The Vega would have been a great competitor, especially for the price point they were going to launch it at. But Bitcoin miners, as Derek pointed out, found out it was incredible for mining. And
so we should make it illegal.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to run out and get yourself a Vega, the Vega 56 is going for, I don't know. It's on sale right now on Amazon. You can get it for $519.99.
That's a deal.
That's
I
crazy
have that
because
much
yesterday.
money from my RX 480 when it was. I just bought it to like 250 euros, and it was quite cheap at that point. And it was like months later, it was like 500 euros there.
Yeah.
Gone.
If
It
I
was
order
just
that
in
card
Best
from
Buy.
Amazon, Rocco, what link do I need to click to?
I'll send you a link for an affiliate.
Put it in the
link
chat for everybody.
All right.
If Derek was going to order 4 of them, what link should he use?
I should have like both 2 cards.
Yeah,
And the Vega 64 is on sale for $699.
It's a
So
steal.
Oh, that's not bad, actually.
That's crazy.
$5.99 in the UK.
Well, when I was at Best Buy
Ryan-
yesterday,
cheaper than it's
Yeah.
$5.99 squids. Yeah.
That kind of makes me upset.
Squids.
Squids.
Quite a few squids there, Ryan.
Yeah. I would have gotten the 64 if I could have got it for that price. Is it actually in stock at that price?
yes, it is.
Honey, check the bank account.
You can get free delivery by Monday if you'd like.
Just cash in all those Bitcoins.
But I've just looked at the prices of some of the i9s. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
It's insane, yeah. It's not worth it. With the Ryzen, I mean, just go AMD. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm looking at Overclockers UK, and they're normally quite good price-wise. And the first lot that comes up, they're talking £2,000 for an i9 7980XE.
The i9 lineup is an absolute joke. It was
is.
just a really poorly compiled.
18 core with hyper threading technology, blah blah blah. But $2,000 just for a processor, no thanks.
Yeah.
Well,
You
I
can
mean,
get
all
a
the-
brand
all the
new
brand new stuff is
MacBook
all
Pro
fine.
for that price.
You can get a graphics card right now for $3,000 if you wanted.
That
it.
is true.
The problem is that Ryzen that's going to be 32 core. I mean, there's no price set for it, but I guarantee you, it'll probably be around $2,000. With that thing priced at that, why would you buy an i9? You wouldn't.
But if
I'm
that's
totally going to get that AMD 32 core with the hyper threading. I'm totally going to get that 2025.
If for no other reason, just open up HTOP and see your 64 processes or
Fill
whatever.
up the screen, yeah.
look at those colors.
How's Rocket League going to run on that, baby?
Amazing.
Like a champ.
Actually, how well does Rocket League take advantage of like multi-core processing?
Perfectly.
I
fine.
don't.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
ask Michael. Everything Rocket League does is perfect.
Like I know there's a
everything.
Wow.
threshold at which
Not everything. There's that.
any difference.
There's a lot of
Nope.
bugs.
Nope.
Hey, Rocco, they fixed the Salty Shore thing.
Did they?
The sound's better.
A great topic, guys.
It was.
We
It
all
was
know
just
what you're
a. It was just a new download map that they put out. That
Oh, it's
on,
free.
on Linux, half of the sounds didn't work.
But it was free.
Be right back.
Amazing.
Free
You don't
upgrade
need
map.
sound to play that game.
And the sounds only were bad for like 2 weeks. They fixed it.
Well, you heard half of it. So like when the countdown would go, you go like you'd hear 3, 1, and you wouldn't even hear the buzzer.
Or my favorite was that you couldn't hear your engine, but you could hear your boost.
Yes,
Amazing.
it was
Awesome.
great.
So you have to boost 24/7.
I mean, I do that always anyway, but still.
Same.
I don't know what's going on with YouTube tonight, man.
Yeah, I see it cycling. I
The
wondered if
stream
it
is
was
just-
just me.
Popping in and out.
It's probably because you aren't using a Mac, Rocco. That's
Ooh.
Yeah,
No.
it was so weird. Even just joining Zoom for me was a struggle. Just,
it was pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had experienced similar issues.
Mhm.
Maybe the entire internet's under a botnet attack right now. And everything's
Possibility.
Could be.
It's all the Bitcoin miners.
it's all those
Yep.
thermostats.
Yeah, but this is not the first Saturday night that it's done this. So
Yeah, you had problems a couple weeks ago, didn't you, with it?
yep.
Don't people go out on a Saturday night in America or what? What's going on?
No,
Shouldn't everybody be out? Or are they all watching Big Daddy Linux?
It's all the Australians taking up the internet, dude.
we don't
can't
have
even-
labs.
Rocco, we can't even get through the bottleneck. What are you talking about?
Well, we won't even go in. We won't go into the 32 core debacle there. We'll save that for tomorrow.
Yeah, we got that to cover tomorrow. Hey, Pete, what's going on, Pete?
Hi, Pete.
Hey,
Hi, Pete.
Hey,
my audio working?
Yeah.
Pete,
You're good.
Yeah.
Pete, can you convince Chicken on why he needs to buy a XPS?
Versus his MacBook Pro.
Oh no,
So
no, no!
you
I'm
get-
fine with the XPS. The only reason I'm not doing that yet is I need a good phone.
Samsung Galaxy S8 or S9.
Do you leave it with the default Samsung stuff?
I do.
Oh, you're a
Oh,
monster.
about Nokia 330.
I do.
Is
I
it
mean,
better now than
wait,
it used to
wait.
be?
You're
I
talking
should
about
say-
a guy that uses Google Music Player, Google Chrome.
Wow.
But the
Firefox,
stuff
thank
on
you
top of
very
that.
much. At least this week I do. So,
But do you use like the Samsung launcher? Was it still called TouchWiz, or is it like?
no, it's not
Touch
called
Big
TouchWiz. It's called Smart Launcher, or
Smart
not Smart
Launcher.
Launcher,
Or
Smart
no.
Home, or something
called
like that.
TouchWiz, didn't it? Used to be called Touch. or
But
something.
I do use Nova Launcher, so
Okay, so performance has been all right. How's battery life? Is it okay?
battery life is awesome,
Okay.
especially compared to the LG phone that I had. But I mean, let's put it this way: it's the best phone I've ever had. That's
Okay.
not saying much, but
Have you?
Alright.
You obviously haven't tried because Rob's put out a few videos on the S9 regarding. Is it the Dex? Is it Dex?
yeah.
Oh, that little
Dex.
dock thing.
Yeah.
Now
So
that's
that-
cool.
So that
That is
turns
cool.
your Samsung into like your actual Samsung is your pad. The screen becomes your pad, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Or something
and
like
that's also works on the S8, just so you know.
And
Oh,
you
does
can
it?
run
Oh,
Linux
okay.
on it, right? Isn't that what they're working on?
That's
Yep.
pretty much what you get.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's 199 or 150 $150
Oh,
or
that's
$199 extra for that unit.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, are you using the S9 or the S9 Plus?
I'm using the S8 Plus.
The S8
Zeb has the
Plus.
S9.
S9. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm on
telling
the Dell
you,
page now.
just check it out. Look at them.
I don't just check things out, Rocco. I jump in.
Feet first.
No,
I'm
head
telling
first.
you, I don't think you'll be disappointed with the Galaxy.
All right, I'll give it a go.
I think the Galaxies probably run better now. I mean, these S5s that I've got here, the Samsung, the system requirements on this just don't suit the Samsung bloat. That's why I took mine off and put lineage on there, because you don't have all that Samsung crap. But I have to say the newer phones probably handle it fine.
Because they're running those Threadripper processors underneath the hood. They've got
So I've got to ask Chicken, are we going to get a new letter in the Telegram group then once you go back to Linux of why you're leaving macOS?
I'm actually having Simon write my speech.
The thing is, you can actually live in the world with an XPS and macOS.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not true. Like, even if it is true, I
have one.
But I don't want it to be true.
It is true. You can have both.
But I only want
imagine
one.
sitting in Starbucks and showing up every other writer there because you have two laptops.
Yeah.
One running
I love
elementary.
that sticker, by the way, Barbara.
Oh,
that is
that's
an amazing
actually
sticker.
it's one of those Mac stickers that you can get.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what sticker would look better on there?
It's perfect. It's lithium.
Elementary.
Yeah.
It's the lithium atom.
Nice.
You know, Ryan.
Destination Linux and a Biddle sticker would look
That would look
fabulous.
totally
Oh yeah,
fabulous
I
on
put
that
stickers
laptop.
on this.
Speaking of stickers, have you guys noticed that the Unix sticker site is absolute garbage?
Yeah, they've
Look,
got.
Oh,
apparently
look at that, Zeb. Nice.
See, Barb?
I have
Representative.
stickers.
That's the way to do it, and it fitted
Ooh,
perfectly the space.
Look at that.
Nice job,
Oh,
guys.
I
beautiful.
like that. I want one
Beautiful.
So how much are those stickers, Rocco?
$24.99 for Mac.
$24.99.
For
Send
Mac.
us, send us your address and we'll send you
But
one.
if they're
Because
going
we
on a
know you
Mac,
got
they're
money.
$69.99 going on a Mac.
But all right,
Yeah,
you
there's
know what? I'll
a
jump
Mac
in.
brand premium for the stickers.
PM me, Chicken, and I'll send you some.
Okay.
So, Chicken, what you need is you need
Your
I
address.
have one.
the Dell XPS with elementary Juno, and you got best of both worlds. I
I'm
believe.
going with the XPS
Samsung
13 Touch right now, as well as the S9 Plus.
Wow. I love it.
Okay.
Midstream.
Are you getting the the XPS 13 with the touch? Are you getting it with the high DPI or just the 1080?
Definitely the high DPI. If I could get a non-touch with like high DPI, I'd go with that. But because that's not an option, I
Because
figure I'll
mine's
just-
the 1080 with touch.
yeah.
And-
I
and-
have
It's a 2014.
And Chicken, you're gonna love the camera on the
Yeah?
whatever the S9 Plus. Oh yeah, you're gonna love it.
Oh, I've got some pictures to send you guys from my trip to the mountains today, and that I took with my my phone, and like honestly, it surprised me. But I'm willing to see other opportunities, other avenues.
Well, if you can forget the scaremongering about what OnePlus 6 does, then if you want to save yourself $350, $400, take a look at the OnePlus 6.
I really do
Speaking
like the
of OnePlus
device.
6,
7.
Well,
that is 7. It is 7. That's what I was going to say.
I'll give it a go.
So, has anyone checked out the new Linux Mint 19 or beta? That's looking
Yeah.
quite nice, I must say.
I checked it when it first dropped. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
Been a
same as
while,
it
though.
was before. It's boring. It just works.
That's the problem.
That is a problem. We can't have that.
I like
No,
instability.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there you
you're
go.
right. It should have a bit more excitement within it, shouldn't it?
Was that a reveal, Rocco?
well, I got Linux Mint on
Oh,
that
yeah.
one and Peppermint on the other one. So
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah. I feel like when that paper comes out, though, it's just going to say, I'm sorry.
Well, our job is done here, folks.
okay,
You know, we should have like a book club, but instead of distro club where we hop to the same distro every week and we all just check it out.
Honestly,
Why don't
what
we?
would be really cool is like if we like documented like shared experiences between
Sure.
us, just kind of comparing. That's a great
on a video, less.
We should do that. Hey, Barbara.
where we
let's do
totally get
Terragos.
together and talk about it.
You want to do Terragos for the first one?
No,
Yes.
Never again. Never again.
Only if Ryan agrees to
Come on,
turn
Bob.
up the following week.
Yes, Ryan's got to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem.
Only if we do the open
I
box
don't care.
edition.
Yes.
No,
No,
you
I
should
would
be
never
able. No,
put it on my
see, with all of us here, we should be able to cover every desktop environment that they run.
Absolutely. All 8 of them or whatever is in the installer.
Yep.
I call XFC.
Well, there are 10 of us on here now.
I call Gnome.
No one's gonna fight you for that.
If they have
You can have
policy, I will
Colin would be fighting for me. Fighting
Yeah,
for it. I know that.
I want no.
I call I3.
Michael calls I3.
You guys better start claiming your desktop before you get stuck with Deepin.
I'm
He's just gonna
calling
claim
it
Deepin.
SCE.
Somebody's gonna get stuck with cinnamon. It's not gonna be me.
I got Deepin.
I'll take cinnamon. I don't mind. Cinnamon's my.
I like
I'm not
cinnamon. I'm
gonna-
just teasing.
I'm not going to even look at it.
don't mind.
What is the
Yeah.
distro even referring to have all these things? Debian?
I think
Okay.
Echo has all of those. That I would do, but I've
And Tergos.
And Tergos has a lot of those too.
No.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
I can't wait.
Sparky Linux has all of those as well.
Actually,
Well-
they don't anymore.
Guys, let me know how it goes. And I will-
Barb, you have to participate.
Yeah, Barb. You can
In
do.
fact, Sparky Linux probably has more.
Yeah,
No,
they
Sparky
do.
has actually consolidated their stuff. They're not doing that anymore.
Oh,
Yeah, they are. You've only got to load up Aptus, and there's about 15 of them.
That's
If you-
right. Aptus.
That's just that's in the community stuff packages from Debian. That's just
I
from
just
Debian.
downloaded Sparky 5.4 the other day, and you go into Aptus desktop, and there's at least 15 or 16.
Yeah.
That's the latest one they've just done.
So they provide you with LXQt, and then they have also others you can install. Is that what you're saying?
No, I downloaded the XFCE version, and then going into the Aptus application, you can install whatever desktop you want.
Yeah, Aptus
Yeah,
does that for you.
okay. But if you go to Sparky's website and you go to the 5.4 or the download for the rolling version, which is the Debian testing,
You're right. It's only LXQT.
it's only LXQt now.
Oh, okay, right.
But once you get inside it, within the Aptus, within the DE section, there's about 15, at least.
That's confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Then what's the point of even having a specifying that you have one particular thing?
Because
Right.
Aptus is just a tool to download another desktop environment. It's just a tool within.
Oh, so they're just getting it from Debian then. That's not being provided by Sparky then. That's just
No, it's a Sparky tool, isn't it? I thought they made that.
Aptus
tool.
is a Sparky tool, yeah. That's what got the dark one using it, because they got that Manakwari or whatever it's called.
yeah, Manakwari.
Yeah.
That ridiculous
Monoquary?
one.
I don't know. Who cares?
All right,
It's
so
man desktop.
it's happening.
Barb, are you going to participate?
No.
So I'm on the
Bob,
Dell site.
strong.
Barbara will participate. Let's just start with Ubuntu Monte.
Yes, that I can do. No problem. I will do a bunch of mate and stay there.
Actually,
What do
there's
you-
a new Deepin out, isn't there? Deepin 15.6.
There is.
Is there?
Yes,
Yep.
and it's looking quite
It
nice.
was just released this afternoon. Yeah.
They added
Wow.
a dark mode and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
dark
actually-
mode doesn't work all that
Did
well.
they now?
Oh.
Yeah.
They already
Why
had
doesn't
a dark
Ubuntu
mode.
have a Deepin one? I think Ubuntu should make a Deepin desktop. Don't
Oh
you think?
gosh, no.
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 Not
As
really.
much as
Why
I
not?
love Deepin, it would be atrocious.
Well, I mean, also it's because Ubuntu doesn't make any of these other ones. They only
True.
make the Ubuntu proper.
That is true.
So Deepin's actually, if you think about it, Deepin on any other distro is actually quite good because you don't have the software store, their software store, do you? In
Deepin
other
goes
distros?
really well on Manjaro, but I think one of Deepin's flaws is that the way they've set up their, I'm not sure what they've done with their theming, like the way it's
The
called.
theming doesn't work at all.
Yeah, it's
It's
weird, isn't it?
so
It's
broken.
strange. You can't. You can only change icons. You cannot change anything on the. Is it Metacity or Metacity? How do you pronounce that?
Metacity. Yeah.
It's
I like to say
Metacity.
Metacity, but I don't think they've ever actually specified which one it is.
I always looked at it as medicine.
I thought it was
Yeah.
Metacity as well.
But
So-
most people say Metacity, but Metacity sounds more fun to
But
say.
what is
That's
Metacity?
why I say it.
Whereas is it a
Potassium.
tomato or a tomato?
I've always said Metacity, just saying.
There was an
Metacity.
article in the New York Times this morning about that. Tomato.
About
versus-
Metacity?
No,
Wow.
Is it Bovril or
and the
tar?
difference between American English and UK English. It was really pretty good. It's a review of a book.
I actually tried Bovril and Marmite, by the way. I hate Bovril, but I do like Marmite a little bit if it's spread thinly on toast. So
it is meant to be just thin.
I meant to find some, and we tried to, and when we were at Self, and it was impossible. The only closest one was a state away, so we didn't get it.
I think you were too busy.
It would have been worth it.
Working mic, wasn't you?
I would have ate it in a spoon.
It was banned in North Carolina.
It would have been worth it.
Michael, that's horrible.
I didn't do it.
I'll tell you what's also horrible. Coffee grounds wrapped in spinach leaves. Oh, no, don't eat that.
You've gone way too deep into the Mac world.
Yeah.
I mean, I love spinach and I love coffee, but the combination.
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll try it.
Thing? Is that a Starbucks thing?
Oh, thank God, no.
Only for Mac users.
That's one of the special menus. You go up to them and say, I use Mac. And they're like, here you go.
It's like a full plate. They're like hors d'oeuvres, but they're just...
So going back to Pete.
Oh, Pete.
What's your experience with the XPS, dude?
I've loved it.
See?
I'm actually doing it right now, but I have a question for you guys, too, actually. There's two options, rose gold or not rose gold.
Not rose gold.
And Dell recommend...
What do you recommend? Like, here's two options: super tacky, less tacky.
Right.
Dell also recommends a portable Thunderbolt TM3 SSD.
Listen, it's still going to be half the cost of the Mac. Go for it.
Not if he's going to get it.
You could buy both colors for the cost of the Mac.
Funny enough, actually, the top tier version is actually looking at it, it's about $600 cheaper, which isn't. But the thing is that's without any protection plans and stuff like that.
But it has a way better specs too, right?
It absolutely blows it out of the water, but
So $600 cheaper and better specs. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, and it's Gorilla Glass. The screen is Gorilla Glass.
On the XPS?
Yes, it is.
What?
Yes.
Oh, that's
how many days of your 14 days are left?
Like 75% of them.
I suggest you look into that.
Yeah, you better skateboard down there fast.
I mean, I love my.
I'm actually hitting the button right now on the Dell website.
The buy button.
Yeah.
Red one, actually. Anyone got a link for that? Or
did they give you any chance to take it with Linux distro, or was it just with Windows?
It's just Windows, but I'm not even going to boot into it. I'm going to immediately.
You can get it. No, you can get it with the with Ubuntu, or I think it's just Ubuntu. Right?
Not this model.
Yeah, because otherwise you pay.
You can't get this particular model. This isn't part of that lineup.
So we can say this was a successful intervention, Rocco.
Yeah,
it was successful.
Are you sure? Because the thing is, they don't necessarily show the XPS quote developer edition.
Yeah, I spoke with a few representatives. I visited back, and this for some reason this particular model is the only one that doesn't, and I'm not quite sure why. They just said that they don't offer it in this lineup.
Well, it looks like you have to pay the Microsoft tax, unfortunately.
Yeah. Which I don't mind.
Why would you deny him the opportunity of nuking Windows off a computer? Isn't that fun?
Like, I'm debating. I don't know how well the Linux firmware updating tools are. I'm not sure what I'd do in that case.
Are you considering running Windows? Is that what you're trying to justify here?
Next week, we have to intervene again.
Oh, my gosh.
You're better off.
Yes, but that will be cake compared to this.
It sounded like he was considering sticking with Windows 10 there.
No, I just wanted to update the firmware and stuff before I hop on over. Just because there's some coil line fixes and stuff.
It's okay to dual boot. We won't hate on
I
you.
don't think so.
Yeah.
I dual boot.
Yeah.
I only dual boot with Linux.
I haven't.
Hey, Pete, you actually kept it. Oh, my gosh. I just noticed my brain is sitting there. That's the size of my brain. Pete trolled me the entire conference. So he was like, I don't remember if you asked or I just gave it to you, but those were the brains I was giving out at the conference stress balls with Das Geek on them.
That is awesome.
Every time I would hand it. What brains are we talking about, Ryan?
Oh, look, you got one too. That's awesome. He would leave it somewhere, and I'd find it and be like, Pete, you left the brain. And then I'd see it in my trash can in my hotel room, or I would see it like sitting outside. I'm like, Pete, here's the brain. Take it back. And I figured he left it somewhere, but it looks like
I actually expected him to. I was started laughing when I saw him having it there.
Yeah,
And actually, I saw him having it there. I went and got mine, put it there.
Pete's a man of few words until you meet him in person. Then you get trolled the whole time.
He's so toxic.
Yeah, he's so toxic.
Toxic, I'm slipping on.
No, he was a lot of fun at Self. He actually dropped like, I don't know what, 2 or 3 different DigitalOcean droplet servers. He's like, I just created my own search engine. I just developed my own. I'm like, dude, calm down. I'm over here like with WordPress or something. Can you chill? Yeah.
So what's Noah like in the flesh, right, Ryan?
Fleshy.
He's ridiculously as nice as he is on the show. Like there is no difference between Noah on the shows and Noah outside of the shows. He is sitting there running around helping everybody every 5 seconds.
He's more energetic when he's not on the show.
Yeah, and like what you guys couldn't see, you can kind of see me and Michael reacting to it at times, is people are so comfortable just walking up to him randomly with their problems that they'll do it while he's on a show, which isn't very nice. But they're just constantly like coming up to the table and asking questions and want stuff fixed. And
yeah, you can kind of hear it on one of the episodes of the Ask Noah show. Someone literally walks up and hands him a laptop, and he's like, "What is this? Why are you giving me this?" And they were just, "Oh, I just called you. You can fix it. Here you go."
But he's so nice. He's so nice that it's one of those. He's actually so kind that I actually had to have a conversation with Michael, like, okay, can I ask him if I do this? And Michael was like, yeah, just ask him. I'm like, yeah, but he's one of those people that will literally say yes to everything. So is it okay to ask him this, blah, blah, blah? Because he's just that type of person. So he's just an amazing dude. He really is.
Cool.
Yep.
Wow.
He also has like this incredible amount of energy that seems he has to be like he must have replaced his blood with like Monster Energy drink or something. That's the only way I can explain it.
Yeah, but
I went to like bed after the party on Saturday, like very late, and he went later than me, and there's no way I could have woken up like remotely as early as he did. And then I get down there and he's already going like 90-0 type stuff. I'm like, how are you not just collapsed right now?
Well, you can't get Michael up, period. So there's
that's not.
I did find a trick though that you may want to, if anybody ever has that experience. If you put Bravo TV on with some reality and you put it up to the full volume the TV can go, he will get up to shut it off and then go back to bed.
That is true. That is true. Not until I hear at least a few ridiculous things. Like, okay, that's enough.
So you was in the next room, Ryan, going on, and he's going off, and you're going on through the wall. On.
Yeah. No, we shared a room together, and that was fun.
Wow.
TMI, guys.
It was not as weird as he's making it sound, by the way.
Yeah, you can't say that and it sound right.
That's right. You can't. It just seems weird.
But everybody at Self, when you go to these events, a lot of people, because you don't spend a lot of time in your room, you're literally just there to sleep, get up, go out to the conference. So a lot of people share their rooms with 3, 4, 5 people just because it helps everybody save money, and the room's a pretty worthless thing outside of sleep. So.
But the one thing I noticed about Noah in dealings with him is he's not a guy looking for recognition either. He's more than willing to help you out, and he doesn't care if he gets any recognition for it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
I think that's awesome.
It's very true.
Yeah, and he never gets mad or angry when people need their stuff fixed. Like he just, okay, give me 10 minutes. Let me fix this guy's problem, and I'll be right with you. Like
That's awesome.
Who he is. Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
He'll even try to fix your talk if it goes disastrous.
He'll try.
He'll try. He couldn't succeed. It was too much even for him. But at least he tried.
But your talk was good, Michael. It was good.
What's a crime book like,
despite the problems, yeah.
What's a crime book like, Michael? You like it?
Okay, so here's the thing about that. That really annoyed me because he gives me a developer pixel book
Well, he was trying to help you. So
No. This is the problem. I thanked him during him letting me borrow it, and like 100 times afterwards. It was the only way the catastrophe became a disaster. That's it. Like, it could have been much worse. The thing that annoyed me was not that he gave me this laptop. It's that I got to use this laptop while in a catastrophe, and not even get to just to enjoy playing it. Because it was the Pixel with the developer mode with Linux applications running on it, and I couldn't even enjoy that I was using it. It's like,
So, Chicken, with that extra $600 you're going to save now leaving Mac, could you get Michael any kind of laptop with an HDMI connection?
Oh, you know what's funny is I actually saw these awesome Chromebooks, and
that's his next thing.
No, there was this new. I wouldn't really use it just because it's Chrome OS, and while I do like Chrome OS, it just doesn't do enough for me, like run Minecraft. So that's actually the only thing stopping me. So better watch it if they ever do that. There's this HP Chromebook that just came out, and it is like absolutely gorgeous. Yeah,
Samsung one's pretty cool too.
Yeah, I love the aesthetic. Like, it's super simple. Like, it looks very premium for a Chromebook.
Yeah, the Samsung one has like a convertible, like flipping screen with touch, like actually not even just touch, but it's also got like pin support, so it can have like sensitivity and tilt and all this other kind of stuff.
So you mean Samsung running Android?
No, Samsung running Chrome OS.
Oh, okay.
I think Ryan has just read chat.
Which part? The Randy's troll? Randy's troll to me, or everybody else's troll before that troll to me? Why do I put up with this? I'm going to Mac OS community where I can be appreciated.
He doesn't have to take this.
Can you get me a coffee while you're at Starbucks?
Well, of course.
Of course.
Have it shipped to you.
I have nothing else to do while I have writer's block and I'm writing my new novel.
He's trying to work out, should he put chapter 1 the numeric or chapter 1 ONE, and he's stuck.
I don't know what the book will be about, but you got to get those basics down first.
The book will be about writing a book at Starbucks and the meta involved.
Like a boss.
Today I sat down at table number 3.
Yeah.
Right next to the front door on the right side of the building. There's another one on the left side, but that's neither here nor there. So chapter 2.
A real Mac user would write his memoirs.
That's right.
That is the memoir. Memoirs of a novelist at Starbucks.
I mean, a real Mac user starts off with "Dear Diary."
So you showed us the screenshot. Did you click submit order?
Yeah, actually, I did. And it's on its way.
That's why he had to go mute, because Discover called him right afterwards. What are you doing?
And then
I didn't see no screenshot.
It's in Telegram.
It's on Telegram.
I actually thought it showed like what it was for. Apparently, that doesn't come until after, so I grabbed the wrong thing.
You grabbed the wrong screen, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I thought I was like, I was
Everybody's
waiting
in
for people to
Telegram
celebrate, but nobody
was like,
celebrated, and now I know why.
So you're going to keep your MacBook or not?
I don't know. That's a good question. I got one for my girlfriend.
So fickle.
I am fickle. I'm a pickle.
Very.
I'm sure Enter Ghost Deepen's going to run great on that disc.
It is totally going to run great.
I don't even know if
when's it going to be here?
To put Enter. I got the Express, so it should be here by June 20th.
Oh, so it won't be.
Week.
Oh, good. So
Yeah.
you'll be able to do the challenge on it.
Yeah. So now I need obviously the phone solution. So.
I mean, did you even think of searching for a coupon code or anything?
Oh no, I did. I got 10% off.
Okay.
10% is a lot off of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could save 10% on your bill for
Geico.
Geico.
Send that back too.
You should have asked Michael. I'm sure he had a link.
Nice.
Is that your wallpaper for your phone?
It should be.
That one right there. There you go.
This is the GPD pocket.
One thing I don't really get is why you don't get like real dog team in the Android kind of phones, like all the Google apps and that stuff. It's so annoying when you are like half awake and then you just want to check something fast and you are like totally blind because it's so
I
white.
put my when I go to sleep, I put my brightness all the way down.
Doesn't Android have like a nightlight mode?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I mean, like the themes of all the panels about dark and that stuff, not the lighting. It's just doesn't.
Oh yeah,
go
like if you had a
fast
whole
enough.
dark mode thing, that'd be cool. But
it has the blue light. The
and
Samsung has the blue light on it.
But the
Sorry,
problem is my Honor 6 can only like boot to what's the Android 6, I think.
Hey, do they have an HDMI port, Michael?
Actually, that one does.
Yeah, that's what you should get next.
This was from the same guy who showed me the Chrome.
What's the next picture there? Is it?
This is a GPT Pocket and a
How
Scion
do you
Gemini.
like it? Do you have one, right?
Oh no, this was from the guy that's at the conference.
How did
The
they
guy who let me
look?
borrow the Chromebook also let me play with these.
Oh.
I used to have a
Nice.
Scion 3 Plus back in the day. That was a beast of a.
Same people who technically they were like in cahoots with the people who made it, but they designed this new phone. But this phone is very cool. The keyboard it's decent, but you got to get used to using it. But it's really cool because there is no upside down when you answer the phone. So it has a microphone and a speaker on both sides, so it just works regardless. But
What does it run?
it's an
Oh,
Android
OS
thing.
was? Oh,
Yeah, it's an Android.
Oh,
But it's
never
a custom Android thing. But the GPT Pocket is so cool. You can't really tell, but that's a terminal right there. But anyway,
Isn't the Pocket though the one that you can get like Ubuntu or something on it?
yeah, you can get Ubuntu on it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's like a $500 device, and
nice.
it's surprisingly good keyboard for the size. Like it's super small. Like it's pretty. It's like 7 inches or something. But it actually you could type on it pretty quickly. I mean, pretty easily, fairly quickly. You can get used to it very quickly. That space bar is super dumb, but other than that, it's really good. Because who wants a split space bar? That's just weird.
That's dope.
do you have to click both sides to make it work?
No, they're separate. I don't know why they're split. It's just so weird. And also the bottom 2 buttons are the mouse buttons.
It would be great for key bindings because you could bind one to the left space bar and one to the right.
Yeah,
If they work separately. But they
Yeah, that's a good thought there, man.
There you go.
Right space, left space.
don't. And this is
I bought a laptop today too, Chicken. It's
Oh,
funny.
yeah?
Yeah,
That's
I ordered. I bought me a used ThinkPad. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Nice.
paid $100 for it. It doesn't have a hard drive in it, but i7 with 4 gigs of RAM. I'll put some cheap SSD drive that I've got laying around.
It's amazing
Yeah.
what you can get for $100. You know,
Yeah.
you just said, an i7. I'm sure what was it like, maybe a 2nd or 3rd gen, but I mean that's plenty of power and 8
Yeah.
gigs of RAM. You said
4 gigs.
4 gigs.
Yeah, but that's plenty for
Plenty,
what I'm
yeah.
doing. Yeah.
I get 25 root beer floats for that.
Yeah.
These ThinkPads seem to be
Those
pretty
are very
popular.
expensive root beer floats.
They are
Yeah, 'cause
actually.
They're like real
Are they
workhorses.
Starbucks?
They're very, very reliable.
Are they,
The ThinkPads?
Lenovo. Is that Lenovo ThinkPad?
It is.
Yeah.
Just
Lenovo,
the idea.
a workhorse computer anyway, to be honest. They
It
just,
depends on which one you get.
well, okay.
Like the X series are fantastic, but there's like these two. There's this one series of ThinkPads that are like Microsoft specific, and they don't work on Linux.
Right.
So you just gotta make sure you don't get those. Other than that, you're pretty much good. But as far as like support, they work.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, Linux just works on them. That's
So, Rocco, have you bought a deck station yet for your Samsung?
No, I would love to have one, but no, I haven't bought one yet. I was watching Rob's video on it though. It looks so awesome.
It does, doesn't it? It's
Yep.
pretty handy, I must say.
But
They're
it just turns it into a computer running Samsung. You have to do something extra special to get Ubuntu on it, do you?
Not sure exactly. He didn't do anything specific. He didn't do
I
anything.
think it comes
special
with
to
a
it.
special. I think it comes with a distro, but I think it's.
It's their modified thing, ain't it?
No, it's got. It doesn't have an app that runs that you can install Ubuntu with or something. I think.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I see.
like
I
a
think
VM
it's
sort of
got an
thing?
app. I don't know the name of it though. I know it's got,
Someday.
Sorry.
Someday I'm going to get one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And then he'll tell us what all the stuff is called.
130 quid.
All right, so guys, there's a real dilemma here.
Oh no.
So there's black,
Do it.
blue, or pinkish purple.
Black.
Wait. I
thought you already ordered it.
No, this is for the S9.
Wow.
Whoa, okay, wait. You can get pinkish purple, and there's a
black. Go black.
There is a
Pinkish
pinkish
purple.
purple. It's called
What is it, like
lilac
magenta?
purple. Oh, it's
Oh my
actually
God.
Well,
You
just
have to
take that. There is absolutely no question here.
Go black.
lilac purple.
You're going to have to put Hannah Montana on it, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, no, but the lilac purple comes with it automatically. It's a default distro.
Think about this: when you order that unicorn Starbucks drink they have, it'll match your purple phone. I mean, you got to think about these things. Theming.
But you can always get a cover for your MacBook that's the same color.
Yeah, D-brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it depends on if you decide to get a case for it as well.
Rocco, look in the
Because-
Telegram chat. You're gonna love it.
Oh my.
Take a look at it. It's
I
amazing.
mean, you can just get a case that's purple.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
You'll be telling me you wear pink shirts next.
But here's the thing,
It's
though.
called salmon.
If you get a
Thank you.
case like I did, you're not even
I
going to
would
know
get
that.
that color.
You're not even going to notice it.
Exactly. Get a nice rugged case for it, protect it.
Yeah.
So
Yep, that's what I did.
You know
I
what
got a case
frustrates
that
me
makes it
is
look like it's not even there.
I spent all that time photoshopping that picture of you with the Starbucks and the chicken and the sandals and all of that for the Telegram group, and now you're switching back.
That was
What a
amazing.
wasted effort.
Ryan, on the bright side, when I switch to Windows for a few days, I'll have
I got you. I'm gonna start working on it now.
There you go.
okay, guys. So on the Samsung site, the DeX is $129. Yeah. What's the option of Amazon.co.uk and they're selling a DeX for 50 quid? No
Squid?
way. It's got to be some Chinese
Did you say
knockoff.
squid?
Surely.
That's
Well, we know that's too cheap because it's
Samsung-
way more than 50 quids.
That's
Squids.
got to be way too cheap, isn't it?
All the manufacturers will, charge as much as possible.
I'm looking at a DexPad for our $99.99 here. So
Yeah, I'm just.
yeah.
No, I'm not going to. I mean,
Just look at to see. It'll also say who it's being sold by,
well, Zeb,
and if it's fulfilled by Amazon or not.
it's
sold by
150
Clever
in Australia. It's 150 here, so it'd be around about what $70 odd in UK, wouldn't it? So
No, they don't. The electronics is the only thing that the currency exchange is irrelevant to.
There's
I mean,
one
sometimes you
on
can buy
Amazon
one.
being sold by Samsung. It says for
Yes, for
$79.99.
$69.95, and it only has 3 stars. So
How do we all get different prices? I think
That's
we
I
just
Amazon.
know,
covered
it's mad,
something.
isn't it?
there's
No,
another
that's
one for
Amazon.
$89.
They get your IP. They see what part of the country you're from, and they charge you
But
accordingly.
50 quid just seems too good to be true.
It's like $50 per Mac user.
Rocco, you froze there, Rocco.
I said Amazon will take your IP, and depending on what part of the country you're from, they'll charge you a different or show you a different price.
Yes.
Oh, isn't that so true? Eh?
And
It is.
and from depending on which, like if you were at another site, like say you were at Newegg and you saw this price and you were searching, they could give you the same deal price, even though they wouldn't normally give that to you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or you can go back in a little while and the price will be different.
Yep.
Saving money. That's what tracking is for.
It's not working for me so far.
But
They know you're
either
a big
way,
spender. That's what it is.
either way, it's
They know you're on a Mac and it doesn't matter.
$69.95 for the DeX, which is cheap, really cheap. But
Boom.
someday,
Samsung S9 is now completed or complete.
nice.
I thought you just
S9 or S9 Plus?
S9 Plus.
So how are you doing that with the carrier? Like switching the?
I just get it unlocked because I absolutely hate.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's unlocked as well.
I
buy my phones outright.
I literally walked into the T-Mobile shop, my local T-Mobile shop, with like the unopened iPhone box, and he was just like, "Why didn't you just get it through us?" And like, I tried not to laugh at him because like, obviously it's a trap. Like it's more of a trap,
It's a trap.
than the phone itself.
Yep.
That's the one thing I like about the operating systems or the carriers in the UK now. A lot of them are coming unlocked. I mean, I'm with 3 UK, and whatever phone they give you now is automatically unlocked.
Right.
Which is much saner way of doing it.
Looks like I'll be at an Apple store tomorrow.
Every single phone I have ever had always been unlocked. Like in Finland, we have never had like locked phones. We have had, but it's not so useful.
Yeah.
But don't feel guilty because I was the same with an i7. I bought an i7 and 2 days later took it back.
Yeah.
Just didn't
it's
work.
like I really, really, really do like it. It's bored. I'm bored. It's less.
I've
okay,
always wanted to try a Mac. Always.
Honestly,
never had the money to. I'm not paying that kind of money.
I think it's a great experience. Maybe I'm not old enough, or maybe I'm not hipstery enough. Like
you're not hipster enough. Man.
Not hipster enough. Yeah, it must
you
be.
Need I need
more facial hair. I think.
At least some down here.
I'm a Mac user. You can tell.
I actually have used a Mac before, and some of it's really good, and some of it's also just engineeringly awful. But
I do like the global menus.
Give Barb or Chicken, Michael, whoever, Brian, give me the best thing you like feature-wise about a Mac that you wish was in Linux.
I like the fact that everything's connected. My phone, my iPad, my Mac, or more than one Mac. And it doesn't matter. I can start a message here and I can continue someplace else.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I like. And it's really stable besides that.
I mean, this is cheating in a way because Apple has a walled garden. So keep that in mind, right? Their hardware is pre-chosen everything. But there is something amazing about opening a computer and everything working immediately out of the box. And as far as having issues, they're far and few between. Now, if you actually start getting into high-end development and all that type of stuff, it's a whole different ballgame. I'm just talking about your initial experience with it is quite incredible from that experience. And then you feel elite when you open it up. The way they wrap it, the way they box it, the way they present everything it's like you did it, Rocco. Like every piece of attention to detail is there. Like they really take their time with it. When you open up that Dell, you will not have that same experience you had opening up that Mac.
I will agree with you on that.
No.
So the only thing I like about it is probably the build quality is probably like the main thing I like. Like most of the software wise, most of the operating system itself, I don't really like, but some of the facts that you can have the applications that you want, that's really nice. But that's not really the operating system itself doing anything.
Well, Fradham was in chat, and he said that the parts inside the Mac aren't exactly top quality. It's the actual frame of the computer that gives it that feel.
The construction of the whole package is the really nice quality. The hardware is not high quality. It's always at least a generation behind.
The package it comes in is more high quality than probably the stuff inside the computer.
It wasn't.
Well, the hardware is also good. It's just older.
So what is it about is it the chassis of the MacBook?
It's a unibody, so it's just well made, and
it is by far the best thing I've ever held in my hands.
Yeah. And the keyboard is one of the best laptop keyboards ever. Like all kinds of things.
You got to get out more, Chicken. If that's the best thing you've ever had.
But I think
about software development. I would rather do software development in Linux and then just port it to the Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Huh?
Can't do that.
Yes, you can.
No, you got to have, depending on what you're doing, if you need Xcode to make your software, you need a Mac.
Yeah, but I know, but what I'm saying is you take the software and you port it over once you're done. So you've got all the logic, all the crap done.
Right, except Xcode is a requirement for iOS apps, and you cannot use Xcode on anything but Mac.
I know, but I'm not. I'm talking about desktop. I'm not talking about doing iOS.
Yeah, there's some of it you can port, but it depends on what you're using. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But like the best part about Mac is that they have support for a lot of applications. They solved the universal app thing a long time ago, because they didn't really. It's not universal because it's one thing, right? But they solved the installing software problem like 15 years ago, and it's their way of doing it is kind of funny because they just basically give you a zip file and you just extract it into a folder and you're done.
That was pretty great. Yeah.
It solves it, but it's kind of messy and clunky, but it works. So,
but that definitely is one of the things that I loved about it, Barbara, and one of the things that really pulled me over to it was the integration, the connectivity. Yeah. I mean, just because this is my iPhone and this is my Mac, I literally sat down in the coffee shop, and as soon as I opened my laptop, I was given the option to connect to my phone for internet. I didn't have to set like it immediately. It was like, hey, this is your phone. It has an internet connection. Want to use it? Exactly. That would be an amazing feature to have.
And I wish Linux had that.
I really do too. Like I'd have no doubt in my mind.
That connectivity is what I really enjoy. I really like about it. And if I'm traveling or something, I'd rather take my Mac because it all just works that way.
Yeah.
But in reality, though, once you've paired, can you not pair your phone to your Linux book, and so that when you open it up, it goes, "Where's the internet? Oh, here it is." Next,
it won't prompt you, but and I think they're talking about the user experience of it, making it easier because it prompts you and has a convenience level.
Yeah, well, like technically, you can still use it as a hotspot, but you actually have to manually do that.
Yeah.
So it won't connect like Wi-Fi does. If you say always use this connection, so you open up your Windows laptop and it will connect to the Wi-Fi that is
right, because you'd still have to turn it on in both devices.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, they're talking about the convenience of it being like, hey, this laptop doesn't have internet connection. Your phone is on and it's connected to the internet. Do you want to use it? Like that kind of thing is pretty cool. Like the integration, and because it's only going to look for one thing, one device, so it's kind of easy for it to do that.
And it
really nice hack.
Have what other devices you have, because it's all through that Apple ID.
Yeah, and that I bet the Android phones wouldn't be able to do. They wouldn't be able to detect Android phones for that feature. It's just its own ecosystem.
Like if we had like any form of like usable centralized like account service for Linux, like it would be amazing.
Ubuntu One.
Yeah, that didn't go well, did it?
Ubuntu One is actually really nice. It just didn't make any money. It was losing the money, so they got rid of it. But it was actually really good if you used it.
It was a good product. I used it. Yeah.
They also had
I still log into it every now and then for like.
You have to use it for Launchpad and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've used it for bug reporting.
Which, by the way, Ubuntu's bug reporting is garbage if you want to do it manually. Like the automatic thing is obviously it's automatic, but if you want to like just go to their Launchpad and file a bug, it is the most dumb thing I have seen. Like
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, why would I want to help them?
Whoa.
They make it difficult.
No, you cannot. No way. Launchpad is not the worst. Debian's
Bugzilla.
No, Bugzilla would be better. Debian used to use they just now recently switched to GitLab, so they still have a process where they're not fully completed, like moving over. But some pieces of it are still using the old thing, and the old thing is just an email. But esoteric special template of email, and if you don't do it the right template, it will send you back a message saying you didn't fill it out right. How do I fill it out? You need to tell me.
You need to file a bug on that.
Yep, exactly. And then you'll have to try like 20 times before you get the template right. And then now that they switched to GitLab, I was like, so thank you. Just switch to anything. I don't care. Bugzilla would be better than that.
I mean, you don't
There's a lot of things that seem like Debian and GNOME switching to GitLab, and then people are associating it to GitHub, like that thing. It has nothing to do with that. It's just because the systems they used to use were just awful.
That's lovely.
I mean, you don't mind filing a bug report, but you don't want it to be an all-day chore just to get it done. Otherwise, what's the incentive in doing so anyway?
Because you click on the file a bug option, and it literally takes you to a wiki. So
but there's been many times where I've filed bugs, and a lot of times they'll want to like ask you questions about it.
Yeah.
So you run into this situation where, do I hold up the whole process of doing what I'm doing? Like I'm going to install this on my system, but I can't because I'm having a bug. So am I just going to let that there for a few days until the developers ask me the questions they need to ask me, or do I continue on and just install something else?
I usually wait a full week. Like if there's absolutely no like response or like no interaction whatsoever, like after a week, I don't even look at the bug report anymore. Like just because it's something that I'm not really, it's not fresh in my mind. It's not something I can give them accurate information on anyway. And I've probably already nuked that system 300 times since then.
Yeah.
So,
Very true. I mean, the thing is,
but I try to keep that up.
That they ask you what were you doing at the time? Well, I don't know. I was working, and the window popped up and said something was wrong, and I reported it. I mean,
my favorite is when you take the time to report a bug and you wait a week, and the response is not a bug, will not fix.
Yeah, that's
all right.
A feature.
So here's a question for you. Would you rather the system do automatic bug reporting and not even tell you there was a bug that happened and just send the message off and send some data with it?
I'd be super happy with that. I would like if there was that, but like it also just kind of logged things in like a little window you could open, just see what's going wrong and where and if it's been reported and stuff.
So just like if it was just like a text file that gives you logs about what it was sent.
Right.
Yeah. I'd be super happy with that.
I think for bug reporting, automatic is the way to go. Now, if you want to do like bug triage and actually help the distro, obviously people can volunteer time and do that. But just for bug reporting, just get whatever information you need about my system and send it to whoever automatic.
As long as that's
switch to an automatic bug reporter thing. I really like it.
Mm-hmm. As long as that's up front.
Yeah, it should be opt-in. Yeah, you want to be able to tick that on.
Yeah. Then wouldn't really be an automatic bug thing because you could get people who purposefully turn it off, and you could go turn it off. But people who don't know and just confused, I don't want you to automatically send bug like these things that my system's messed up or whatever. And then they turn it off, and then you don't get the information. And then let's say 1,000 people are affected by it, but only 20 send it in. They don't know the actual level of effect.
That's the way it is.
I mean, it could even have a flag number. I mean, I don't know if that's possible or not, but a flag number, so if the same report could be flagged with a number or something if it's from the same app or whatever.
It does. I mean, the current system they added does do that.
Oh, okay.
But this all goes back to the user's choice. If I want to send that and if I want to help them out, that's fine.
Does it bother you that Fedora has an opt-in, it requires you to opt out for a bunch of stuff?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You're asking me? I don't run Fedora.
Anybody who's bothered by Ubuntu doing it, does it bother you that Fedora does the same thing and worse?
It didn't bother me when I installed Fedora today at all.
Yeah, no, it doesn't
To be honest, it didn't bother me with Ubuntu either.
Okay, good. I mean, I have no problem with them doing it.
I know a lot of people mistrust Red Hat and Canonical because they're these evil corporations. I don't mind.
Yeah, but it's not even about mistrust. It's about if this is a computer that's mine, I should have the choice whether I send that info or not.
Yeah. You have the choice.
Yeah.
It's not even about hating on companies or anything, but I should have the choice.
The choice has not been removed. It's just whether it's checked or not.
Yeah, but it should be off by choice.
Off by default.
Makes no difference whatsoever whether it's like off. It hurts no one if it's on by default because like it can be turned off before it's even done.
It should be off by default.
No, but listen to what I'm saying.
Rocco, chat. Sorry.
It doesn't hurt anyone if it's on because you can turn it off before it actually does that, but it hurts someone automatically if it's automatically off. There is no negative to having it checked. There is only negative to having it unchecked because it can be unchecked before something actually happens, and either way, the user is still presented with an option.
Okay. I missed all of that, so you have to repeat it.
Just to be logical about it, like I know people like for some reason get really touchy about whether it's checked or unchecked, but the logic of it is that no one is hurt by it being checked. But by default, someone, especially the developers, are hurt by it being unchecked.
It should be off by default.
No, but listen to what I'm saying.
So that no user is just not paying attention enough to
Either
let it go
way,
through.
they'd still be doing that if they weren't paying attention.
The only reason that it would be good for it to be on by default is so that they can get the information.
Right.
That's the only
That's not true
viable discussion of what it would be good for it being on by default so that they get the information they need. And that's just not the scenario here. It shouldn't be about whether they get the information they need. The user should have the choice of whether or not it is on. But but when you go with a default of being on, you're more or less saying, I want this on, and if you don't want it on, you have to uncheck it.
When I said I didn't have a problem with this, I said I don't have a problem with this, but I still think it should be off by default, because just because I don't have a problem with it, I know there's enough people like Rocco that will hate this thing, for privacy reasons. Yeah, they should just have it turned off.
But the thing is it doesn't do anything if it's checked. But like if you turn it off, it doesn't do what it's meant to do. So you're not having that issue anyway.
Exactly.
You can't blame people blindly clicking through menus and spamming through it you can't blame them for people like that.
No, but that's blaming the only reason. That's the only reason they leave it ticked on, because they're wanting all of that data from the people who go next. No,
it's not only reason. It's exploited. They should want the data from everyone.
But if you're saying that that we shouldn't be blindly going through, the opposite is true. Then the users are very much capable of checking it on. I mean, we always talk about Linux users being smart, and
that's just it.
But that's what you're complaining about, is that most people won't check that on, but it goes both ways.
Exactly, but the thing is that either way, there's going to be people doing that. But by default, more people will be hurt if it's off than if
nobody
it's
will
on.
be hurt.
Yes,
nobody
because that's a
will
loss
be
of
hurt.
information. Listen to what I'm saying.
It's not a. I get it that it's a loss of information.
Yes,
but nobody is hurt by that.
Well, nobody's hurt either way.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody is hurt by that.
But to say that it's being off is bad, because getting someone to tell you that they want to do it, it's good, but you already know that they want to do it, and you get the information. So you have the answer. They chose it. You don't know how many people chose not to, and that's also a very important metric.
But that's what I'm saying. It's the same argument to say, well, it should be on by default because the user can uncheck it.
Well, I don't think it should be
not the same argument.
It should be off by default.
If it's off by default, you literally have no ability to get the metric that they chose not to.
Why does it have to be on or off by default? Why can't it be a simple yes or no question, and you can't continue in the installer until you
can't pass it? Yes.
I agree. Right. Totally agree. Yeah. It should be a yes or no. It shouldn't be anything.
And then you get people on YouTube who tell you how to disable it, so you don't have to do it.
But
that's okay. It should be a choice, ain't it, Michael?
No, because
so what you're saying it shouldn't be a choice.
I was saying that because that's you're not even making the choice there. You're just refusing.
It should be a screen that you cannot continue unless you've ticked yes or no.
Totally agree.
That might make the installation scripting a little bit hard for the users that have like 3,000 computers to manage something.
I think off by default shows respect to people's privacy decisions.
The choice period shows respect to their privacy.
Yeah. Well, if it's off by default,
I don't know if that's. I mean, and so you could go the same way with elementary and the way they propose the donation thing, where you have a choice, but they kind of make.
No, they present you with. There's a difference between here's a choice and here's a choice that you might think of that you could maybe put 0 in.
Right. Okay. So what I'm saying is
difference there.
Yeah, but it's kind of the same thing.
No, because one is purposefully designed to make people think that they have to pay something, or that they trick the system into giving it to free.
And one is purposefully designed so that people might not uncheck it.
No, but that doesn't matter because the whole point is that it's a one choice binary choice. Theirs is a purposefully trying to confuse, and that's why
I don't know if they were purposefully trying to.
There's even people who
they
posted
just
on
wanted
their
people
forum
to
saying,
donate.
"Hi, I got your stuff for free," and they responded with, "That was what we wanted you to be able to do that." Then if you did, why don't you just have a button that says download for free like you used to?
I think Elementary did it by default, by design. They thought if we put this in here like that, we're going to get more $5 than we are people thinking to put no. They obfuscated it, or whatever the word is.
Yes,
they made it deliberately awkward to work out, put a 0 in.
Right, and I don't have a problem with them doing it. I'm just pointing out that there's a very different comparison between a binary check this box or don't check this box.
It still should be what Derek said.
Unchecked.
A yes or no question. You can't go
you
by
have to actually read about it and decide whether you want to do it or not.
People will blindly click no because that's safer to just say no to stuff.
So the question is though, that
but
when
you'll know the choice then.
When you're clicking this,
or you don't know if they actually did anything.
When you're clicking this tick box for yes or no, is it a single click or double click?
That's in KDE.
It's a single click. Thank you.
It's
the more superior thing, obviously.
And do we have different opinions on this when we talk about Ubuntu and Fedora because of the companies behind it? What about if it was a community distro like or Arch or something like that doing this?
My opinion is the exact same regardless.
It would be the same.
Okay.
I don't care who's doing it. I think all distros should ask for the statistics of your hardware because it allows them to improve. And one, it allows them to know how many people are using their system. It allows them to know what kind of hardware is being used, all that stuff. That would be so beneficial to the entire ecosystem of Linux that it's kind of sad that it's just now starting.
They would definitely find out how many single-click users are out there.
Yes, we could totally get that data, and we could also prove that double-click is better. Thank you.
Well, they could probably put the yes or no answer. They could put that information, what you just said, on that page with the information that's being uploaded as well, how it's advantageous to the distro itself, and people would probably have a quick look and say, yep, that sounds good.
There are some distros that are doing
did that with encryption. Like they presented a page that was like, here's the benefits, but I didn't really see much to where I think they briefly mentioned slight cost of performance somewhere in there, but I think it would be better if they kind of like more specifically showed the positives and negatives. But that type of idea I think was pretty cool.
I mean, to be fair, there are other distros and other, Ubuntu flavors that have the data collection and they do it in a way that's, more applicable to some people or more favorable, because the idea that Derek suggested, and the last time we talked, Rocco mentioned the same thing of having a yes or no. Ubuntu Mate literally does that. So it asks you, and it just has a page that says yes or no. You just choose which one. Yeah. Although if you choose no, it will send the metric. That's fine.
And I'm okay like them having the information about the system because they're not getting any information that I care about. I just think it should be a yes or no.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an argument that is hard to argue against. We can't really have an argy-bargy about that.
Okay. Should we play Rocket League instead?
That's a thing. That is a thing. Yeah.
I looked up British slang, and that was so ridiculous. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that one.
The argy-bargy?
Yeah, argy-bargy.
What does that mean, Zeb?
Really, heated argument is all it means.
Yeah, a heated argument. Yeah.
Yeah, bit of argy-bargy.
Amazing.
Wow. Okay. Is that what we were having? An argy-bargy?
Yeah, we were having an argy-bargy.
What's wrong?
So what you've got to be careful of is that a chinwag could turn into an argy-bargy.
Is that what you got to be careful of?
A few beers
especially over Marmite.
Turn into an argy-bargy too.
Yeah. Especially if you're saying whether you like Marmite or not.
Right.
That was the most heated argument we've had on the show since Michael and Rocco got into it about GNOME KDE that one time.
I don't think I think we weren't heated about that topic, but I think it is definitely the most heated topic we've got on since the last time we talked about the exact same topic.
Yeah, we talked about the same exact thing and it got that way last time. So
but it's a good argument, but I think Derek brings up a really good point. Just a page, I think that satisfies everyone, to be honest, and a bit more information.
Can't go past.
I mean, no. So, okay, see, the checkbox is important because it's square, and that the shape just makes you feel good.
I think
That's okay.
Michael's
I don't have an actual. I just wanted to have an argy-bargy. Exactly.
Let's make it obvious. Let's have a big X if you want to say no, and a heart if you want to send it over.
Or,
Yes.
or we're gonna do like a thumbs up, thumbs down, maybe.
Yeah,
You could do that. Like, dislike.
Yeah. We do a
Subscribe
Reddit
button.
up and down.
Subscribe. Click the bell for more.
More
Joe
argy-bargies.
says,
Be sure to click that bell.
Jeez.
That's amazing.
Wow, late to the show, Joe.
Joe, you're in time for the last word.
I know. I didn't know if you're going to have one or not, but it didn't matter because
we have the last word already.
Tractor, a toy a rider tractor together, a John Deere tractor for my grandson's birthday tomorrow with my son-in-law. So that's
right.
I couldn't come out if I wanted to do it. So that's my last word.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. How you guys all doing tonight, though?
Good. Thanks, Joe.
Pretty good.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yes,
We're just having some argy-bargy chin wags.
Yes,
Very nice argy-bargy.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, happy
same
Father's
to
Day.
you.
Gee.
Thank you.
It was a blinding good conversation.
Well, by the way, kudos, huge kudos to your video for self. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, the guys did us proud. Well done.
That was so chaotic. We were not totally sure it was going to work until like 2 minutes before we started live.
I knew.
I wasn't sure it was going to work while we were doing
We didn't
it.
know for sure. We were just like, okay, it's going to work. It's going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Have you got a video on your talk for KDN Live,
No.
Michael? Or not?
That's
We
a
won't
sore
go
point,
there.
Colin.
So
Was it?
I don't think I've seen Pete laugh that hard in a long time.
my talk was so bad. Technical. I was fantastic. My talk's technical difficulties were so bad.
Can you guys see this just real quick? That's what I was working on tonight.
Nice.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's what he's getting tomorrow morning.
That's cool.
Oh,
Make sure you put the blade on right though.
No,
And Colin-
please, not for a 4-year-old.
If you didn't see it, Michael's talk went really bad technically wise, but
Right,
he
right.
Yeah.
he went through the whole thing regardless and made it to the end. It was awesome.
Did.
You
I
even
did
sound
try to. I
different,
did
Michael.
power through it.
Yep.
Sounds like you need to make your own video anyway on KDN Live.
What's funny is that during the last part of the talk, I was just like, "This is going." I've said most of what I wanted to say. Let's just have Q&A. And then at one point, one of the people asked, I think it was the last question, was like, "So, are you going to put this on your YouTube channel?" Like, can you like redo it and put it on? I was like, "That's a good question. I don't think they would have a problem with that."
He's like, yes, and it will come right after the Hannah Montana review.
And I did not say that. So, but the funny thing is that there was so many technical problems that if I didn't borrow someone's laptop, it would have been impossible to do the presentation. Even though I did, I was like, there's no way it could get worse. Like, it's just, this is just bad. This is so awful. No way it could get worse. And then the microphone's battery died. And I lost 25% at the end. So even like all of the Q&A stuff did not get included in the video. Like, there's so many things. Like, so next time you think that it can't get worse, it can.
Michael, that's rule number 1, especially with kids. You always check the batteries.
Well, it's not my conference.
To be fair, it wasn't Michael's job to check the batteries.
What's funny is that after that happened, there was the end of the day. There was a talk from the guy who did the conference, who started it, or like was like one of the co-founders and stuff, and he did like his own keynote thing, and his batteries died.
Oh,
wow.
You're like,
I was like,
vengeance.
see, it's not my fault.
All right. It is pumpkin time.
Oh,
So,
already?
Zeb, last word.
Don't forget to catch us on Destination Linux tomorrow or today for me, and we'll give you another rocking show.
Yep.
Cool.
Colin?
I don't really have a last word today, so it's just going to be PC TLC. Check me out.
Tuxedos.com/PCTLC.
Yeah, PC TLC.
Chicken.
Just look forward to Simon's speech on me switching from Apple to Everything not Apple.
Yeah. Nice. Derek.
Well, I have to go see my father tomorrow, but when I'm done, I guess I'm putting Antergos Open Box on this machine.
Yeah, man.
Maybe next week we'll check it out. No.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with the
Barbara will
deep
definitely
version.
be a part of that.
Chicken
Ryan.
Chicken version.
Listen, Destination Linux tomorrow, and everything you guys said about Fedora was wrong. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But you have to have AMD to enjoy it. So,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Not true.
I actually
Homer.
installed Fedora a couple days ago.
I like it.
Homer.
That's Kiki's right. Fedora is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing else to say.
Michael.
Destination Linux, be sure to check out this show tomorrow where we'll have multiple RG Bargies.
Pete.
Just enjoying and trying to get used to my new Behringer XR18 Air.
Nice.
Very nice. Joe, last word.
I'll take another last word. Happy Father's Day to all you guys that are fathers, and have a great day. I may not be able to watch your live tomorrow, though, because I have a birthday party on Father's Day, so I'll have to watch the recording. But good job, you guys.
Father's Day to you, Joe.
Yep. Happy Father's Day to everybody here and all of you watching and listening.
Thanks.
And I want to say Happy Father's Day to my hero, my dad.
Oh.
And we'll see you tomorrow on Destination Linux.
All right. Peace, guys.
See everyone.
See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.
And remember, the journey is just as important as the destination.
Not
Flash
yet,
Amazon.
Michael. Wait till tomorrow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But he